Hey guys, it's James here again, and today we're back with the sub 12 foot-pound impact, and we're back with slugs. So this is going to be episode 2 of my exploration into the world of slugs through a sub 12 foot-pound gun. Now you would have seen in the first episode I had a look at whether they would actually leave the barrel. That was my main concern, and then also whether they would actually group. Now the reason I did that before, say, doing a chronograph test was because if it's not going to work, why chronograph it? It's a lot of work to go into if you can't even use them. So now that we've established we can use them, today we'll get the chronograph. I've got my FX radar just here. We're going to put some pellets down range, just some normal 22 caliber hollow points, see what they come in at. We'll use that as our datum, and then we'll put the slugs on. Now personally, I think that although some people have said they reckon the foot poundage is going to go higher, I don't think we're going to get the velocity. Obviously, foot poundage is worked out with velocity and weight of projectile. If you muddle one around or both of them, that will affect the overall foot poundage. So my theory is, yes, although we've got a very heavy projectile, we're not going to have the velocity here to maintain an increase in foot poundage, but I could be wrong. So let's put some pellets in, do some quick testing, and then I'll read the results out in 2 seconds. Okay, so the keen-eyed of you would have seen I've put the details on the bottom there. I've just done a little bit of wizardry here just to work out the average feet per second, and then obviously look at the retained foot poundage as well, at least at the muzzle. So you'll have to forgive me for reading off my paper, but it's a lot of numbers for me to remember. For the normal pellets, these were for some normal dome head JSB pellets. The average came in at 579 feet per second, which for a 22 caliber rifle with all those gizmos and all that data comes in at 11.8 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. So that was a normal pellet. The FX and the H&Ns both retained the same amount of foot-poundage. So both came in at 9.4 foot-pound. Both of those there were 21 grain projectiles. So I matched those two on the weight. FX came in at 449 and H&N came in at 494. So a little bit of a variance, but fairly close nevertheless. Now JSB were the winners here. They retained the most foot poundage at 10.86 at the muzzle. But again, that's a heavier projectile. Yes, that's 25 plus grains rather than 21. So it's got that mass behind it, and it's done pretty well on its velocity. So they've retained usable foot poundages, I would say. However, with the accuracy involved, I would just rather stick to normal pellets. That, in my mind, would make a little bit more sense. But anyway, we're going to try targets again. Now, I know you've already seen me do this, but I had a brainwave, so I'll explain now. So, the test that we're going to redo. Now, you've already seen me do targets with varying success. However, I had a chat with somebody the other day who knows what he's on about, runs another huge airgun channel, probably the airgun channel for the UK, and he said, try it with smooth twist barrel. If you've still got one of those, they are like the holy grail, try it. And as soon as he said that, it made complete sense. Now, you remember last week when I was saying that it was because these projectiles don't self-stabilise. So they need the velocity and they need the twist to get them stable and to send them on the way accurately. Sub 12, we obviously don't have the velocity there. However, the smooth twist barrel makes complete sense. Now, this is the original smooth twist barrel. This isn't the STX or anything like that. So this is perfectly smooth up through, up until the last sort of inch, and then there's quite a decent rifling on the end. And it made me think, less drag, the projectile's going to pick up a little bit more speed, and then it'll still twist because you've got the twist. So we're going to try this with the FX hybrid slugs and see how they group. Again, we'll try for a 5-shot group. We'll do a couple on the page and just see how they work, because I'm curious as to see if the logic in and the science is right here, because they've got a little bit more time to get at the power, but then they're getting twisted anyway. So we're going to put a target out 35 yards, and we're going to redo this portion of the target test just to see how the original smooth twist barrel compares to the STX. So bear with me, put some targets out, and then we'll get 5 shots down on paper. Okay, so this was the target at 35 yards. Now 3 of the slugs pretty much went on top of each other, like the same hole. And then 2 of them did exactly the same thing, but just an inch down. Now I'm not quite sure what's going on there. That could be a numbertude or a multitude of things. However, the groupings are a lot better using this smooth twist barrel over, say, the smooth twist X barrel. So that was quite promising to see. Now, out of curiosity, I did put the scope cam on this new element scope a second ago just to see what they do at longer ranges, so at 55 yards. And they held about a 2-inch group. It was a square group, wasn't the best group in the world, and I know, I and a lot of you watching this can do a lot better with normal pellets, but that was still better than what I expected using slugs, so that was a bonus. Now, for me personally, this is probably going to be the last of the sub 12 videos that I do. In my mind, I've done enough testing to know that there are no benefits really to swapping to slugs sub 12 foot pound over sticking with a regular Diablo pellet, which is what I'll be doing going forward. I know we've focused on the 3 main ones, obviously the H&Ns, the JSBs and the FX pellets. There are many other different versions. There's a lot of niche specialist manufacturers. There's a lot of names that have been thrown around. It's very difficult to include everybody, and that's the key here. I'm not discriminating against one brand or whoever. It's just very difficult to include anybody. So I've gone for the 3 easy to find ones that you find on 101, Sportsman's, your local RFDs, anywhere. These are the ones really that you're going to find on the shelves and on the websites. So that's why I've focused on those. Now in the future, if anybody does want to reach out and have their products, especially sort of slugs, featured on the channel, be it sub 12 or FAC, let me know. I'm always interested to hear from different people and to try different things and give credit where it's due. That's the big thing here. We want to help the smaller companies as well as like the big ones. So thank you very much for watching. If you've made it this far, any questions, any comments, feel free to put them below. We will be back very shortly. I've got this new Nexus currently on loan. We've got the MOA, which is on this one, and the MRAD, which is currently on my Crown. We will be featuring those quite a lot, reviewing them, seeing them on what they're about, because they're expensive, they're brand new, and I appreciate there's not much information from outside the core group. So I want to give my take on it and see how we go. Initial thoughts, yeah. These are going to be Vortex killers, hands down. But we will cover that in the review and the videos I do subsequently with the Nexus scope. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to check us out on all the social medias, and I will see you next time.